Hi, here we are again. It is the weekend, so it is time for another Craft Roulette card. So today, let's see what we have. We have a matchbook card. Never made one of those before. Gonna make one. It has to be flowering field colors. That's pretty easy. Birds. And wood grain. That's pretty easy. I have a lot of wood grain folders. That's easy enough to do. And when I say birds, I have to put a flamingo in it. I think it has to be a flamingo. I have other birds, but it has to be a flamingo. So let me turn this around and we'll get started. All right, so to make an A2 size matchbook card, you're going to want a piece of paper 4 1/4 by 11. You're going to score it at 5 and at 10 1/4. So that allows you to fold this down here, fold this up here, and have enough of a lip to hold it in place. Like that. All right. So that makes the bottom 3/4 of an inch by 4 1/4. To make a matte layer on the top, this page is 4 by 4 3/4. And then if you want to put a layer on top of that, to go down 1/4 of an inch, you're going to go 3 3/4 by 4 1/2, which is what I'm going to do over here. So I've already cut some paper. So this is going to be the wood grain, because let's bring in our parameters. So we have our matchbook card, wood grain. This is going to go down here. And I think I'm going to whitewash that. I think that's what I'm going to do with that. So we have our bird. I have the flamingo. Now how fabulous is she? Let's just look for a moment. She's got a hat. She's got her purse. She's heading out for a day. Now there's a flamingo. So we have a matte layer on that. And then I'm going to put a paper that is the whole size of the front of the card. And then this is going to be on here, like this. All right, so let's get started here. So I already stamped this because I wasn't sure exactly how that was all going to fit on there. And I took the edge. I used my Crafter's Companion little edger. And I went around the edge like this. You just have to hold it. When you get to the corner, you want to put your hand down here, hold the end like this so it stays taut. And go like that. And you go around like this. When you do the corners, you want to hold it like this. Put your thumb there so the paper stays flat. And you can do your corners. And Crafter's Companion always has these on their website. And they do ship to the US. It's just, it's $125 for free shipping. So you may want to look at Simon Says Stamp or somewhere else to see if they carry them. Because they do have them periodically. Okay, so we have this here. I've run the wood grain through this. So let me grab some white. Let me try this. All right, so I have some white pigment. Now I'm going to erase this on the back because I'm not sure what side. Let me see. Where's my scrap paper? Here it is. All right, so let's see what this side looks like whitewashed. And I'm going to erase this side. I wrote the measurements on this side. And this side, I'm going to take sandpaper to it. Now I can decide which side I like better. So let's see. This is the side that was sandpapered, and this was the whitewashed one. I think I like the sandpaper one better. All right, I'm going to use sandpaper side. But just do it a little bit more. Yeah, that's what I'll use for the bottom. All right. So we need to color our flamingo. So let's grab some pinks. Let's see. I want one to match this color. So for the flower colors, I have R46, I have Y17, I have V09, and I have YR68. For the flamingo itself, I think I'm going to use RV02, R85, and R32. Have something a little pinkier. Oh, that's better. So let's get rid of this one. All right, so I'm going to use RV21, R32, and R85. All right, so let's start coloring the background on her. So she needs a red hat. It's a nod to my red hat sister, so she needs a red hat. And I am going to barely touch this paper because this is a very small little hat, and I don't want to end up with it bleeding all over the place. It's going to have a purple. This is the V09. I'm just going to dab it on there because this is so small. Not sure what color I'm going to give her sunglasses yet. But her flowers, let's see, we'll do a yellow one. Not sure what color I'm going to do her purse yet. So now we'll start with the lightest color. And we'll color the flamingo, and then we'll give her some highlights. All right, let's see. Let's give this some highlights. This one's very dark, so we're just going to put a little bit of that down here, a little here, a little over here, a little on the wing. And we'll put some of this pale in here. And then we'll go back over it with the light color. That's all colored. So the legs aren't their legs black? Aren't they like a grayish kind of color? So let me grab a gray. I'll use C3. Let's see, that sounds good. All right. This is very thin. So I am just barely touching the paper. Put some color in there. And their nose has some white on it. So I'm going to grab C1 just to give it a little bit of color. There we go. All right, so now we just need to decide what color glasses does she want. What do we think? Purple? Or yellow? I'm thinking maybe yellow. All right, let's give her some yellow glasses. Now she's just looking just fantastic. All right, let me grab my gelatos. All right, let me clear my markers away. Now I did have to restamp this because I got something on it. So let me take the Here it is. You rough this up again. You know what? Let me take out my glass mat. Alright, I'm going to scribble some. This is Acqua. That's going to be my sky. And this is Kiwi. Kiwi is going to be my grass. Let me grab a paintbrush. Let me spritz this with water. So I just want this to kind of be a wash. Yeah, that's good. And we're going to come over here. And I could use a bigger paintbrush, but I tend to be a little bit of a slob. I get a little carried away. So, see, and this is another reason why I like that Gina K ink, because I can put alcohol on here, I can put water on here, and it's not gonna care. And this is Nina paper. It's not watercolor paper. It's just gonna kind of give this a little bit of a wash here. So I can make it a little darker around the flamingo. Okay. Now let's do the sky. Rinse that off. Spray the blue. That is still really light, so let's see. I'm gonna rub it on my finger and put it on. Since the top of the paper was wet, I want all the paper to be wet when I put it on, else it won't look even. All right, I think that's enough. Let me grab a paper towel. Okay, so that is now done. So let's see what we have here. Let's put this away. All right, let's bring in our card base. So I'm going to stamp Happy Birthday on the inside. And that was in this fabulous Flamingo set. Give that a second to dry. Just put it in the middle. Hold down the top flat there. All right, so the inside is done. I'll get that off later. So if you get a stray mark like this, If you use a mono sand eraser, and as long as your paper is a solid paper and not a layered paper, and you'll know right away if it's a layered paper, you'll put a hole in it, you can erase these marks. And most of it came off. All right, let's glue all this down. Okay, so the next thing we have to do when we're gluing all this down is you're going to want to figure out where you're going to glue down this front flap here. So fold this over, draw a line across it, because when this goes up, this is what's going to hold your card closed. So you only want to put glue here. So we're going to put a little line of glue here. Close that over. Then this will go on top. And I'm going to grab a couple of clips to hold this closed. If you don't have quilting clips, go on Amazon and look. These are like the best things to have when you're crafting. I'll grab another one. You can get a whole box for just a few dollars. And it's like having an extra set of hands. They are so worth it. Oh no, I got blue ink all over the back of this. All right, we're going to carry on, and we'll deal with that later. All right, so remember this piece was 3/4 by the 4 1/4. So now this piece is 4 by 4 3/4, and this one was 3 3/4 by 4 1/2. So this is going to go in the middle there. This wants to wrinkle, so it's a little wet. So let's get this glued down so we can flatten it out. This will be in the middle. All right. Now this will go on the front. And this yellow one was the whole size of the side. Yeah, I can talk right now. Size of the card. So that was the 4 1/4 by 5. Get that all flush. All right, and I think we are just about done. Oh no, we got color in her purse. What color? I think I want a light color. So I'm gonna grab a light purple. I think I want light purple now that I have this all together. Oh, that's too close to her skin. That's good. I think I've seen flowers that are purplish color. I'm just gonna go. Let me go back over this flower. Now to give her some shading, I'm going to go around with the C1. Underneath here. Maybe where she would have a shadow. On her leg. On her foot. Yeah. Under her nose. Under her hat. There. Let's give her a little shading. Alright, so let's see if this is dry now. Alright, I think we have all the parameters. Let's make sure this is going to close. It's going to catch. Let me get the end of this down a little bit better. That is not dry yet. Alright. I am going to have to let this dry a little bit more. You know what? That might be too high. I think I'm going to cut a little bit of that off. Let's see. I think I'm going to take this down to a 1/2 inch. Alright, so I took 1/4 inch off of that. So instead of that being 3/4 inch wide, it's a 1/2 inch wide. I will change that on here. Now let me, I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. So now let me glue it. I always test my glue first, make sure it's not clogged. So I think we've all had that happen to us. And then you get the big splotch. Alright, so I'm going to have to let this dry. Alright, so we have Your Fabulous Darling. And when you open it up, it says Happy Birthday. Alright, so we have the matchbook, we have the flowering colors, we have our bird, and we have a wood grain on the bottom. So I think that's everything. This just has to dry. I will have to let that dry. Alrighty, go. Let me turn the camera around. So I let everything dry overnight, and I did add some gems. I thought it looked a little plain, so I added 3 green ones to the bottom and some pink ones to the top. I think that just gave it a little more something something. And so yeah, so here we are. Matchbook card, Flamingo, flower colors, and wood grain. So there's all our parameters. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, give me a like. And if you want to see other videos I've made, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.